telling me. There we go. We're okay. We're live on StreamYard. There we go. We're live on YouTube. That's what it's telling me. Whether we are or not is another story. So there we go. Back to here. All right. So I'll just wait till people start coming in because it's that time of year when people are out and about in this hot weather. Actually, today it rained a little in here today, so it was a little bit cooler. But we've had goddamn the last 4 or 5 days in the 90s, way up there. Heat index at 100. It was been tough. Humidity, outrageous. But it beats the alternative, cold. But
I don't know. I'd rather be cold. You can always put more clothes on. You can only take so much off.
True. Yeah, I mean, I guess you got a point, but no, cold doesn't. I don't like the cold anymore. Like I could I could tolerate it before, but now I feel it. Yeah, I think it's just because I'm, my joints are starting to, hurt and shit like that. So the price of getting old. So anyway, what was that, New York?
I was going to say, sometimes it doesn't matter how much you put on clothing wise, you're still cold to the core sometimes, so I don't know, at least heat wise, if you do cool down, you actually cool down, where cold wise, you try to warm up. You don't always necessarily warm up.
Yeah, you're right. I tell you what, talking about that, if my feet are cold, I'm cold to the core, and I just can't warm up at all. I know it's weird, but my feet are warm. I can normally stay warm. For me, it's strange. It's my feet. Some people, it's the top of their head or whatever. So
yeah. Hands in the wintertime, fully dressed, layered up, and got to do something that you can't use gloves for, and the next thing you know, you're freezing.
Yeah,
at least your hands are. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, the wind's blowing, it's below freezing, and you got to take your gloves off.
And the thing about hot, the one nice thing about hot is ladies wear a lot less clothes when it's hot.
Yes, they do.
So yeah, I don't know.
I like the summertime for that reason. That's the one good thing that all those years I lived in that beach town. I used to ride my motorcycle down. It was called Atlantic Avenue. And it's where all the bars were and the beach was, and all the hotels. You used to ride down there on my motorcycle, looking cool. Watching all the women walk by in their bikinis and shit. Oh man, I nearly crashed many a time. Oh, and because you're on a motorcycle, they're looking at you, so it's kind of cool. So, anyway, let me get going. I think people are starting to come in. So, welcome to Rick's Life as I See It, from the crossroads of America, of course. And it's good to be here. It's good to see you all. Let me introduce my panel. We have. You're still living in Pennsylvania, ain't you? Guns and Barbecue?
I am.
Okay. Because then, of course, we've got the one and only New York Outcast. How you doing?
Doing all right. Thanks for having me. Thanks for showing up, people. I know all the cool people showed up. Can't see the chat, but the cool people are always there.
You're on your phone, right?
Holy shit! You went blind too, Rob?
Yeah.
No, I'm just on my phone. So
I was gonna say, get a hold of Patriot. He helped me out a lot.
Yeah, he misses a lot of shit by being on his phone. in the chat.
What a lame excuse.
I know.
Probably a good thing though. Yeah, or else I'd be arguing and bickering with everybody. No.
Yeah, more than likely. Let's see. We ain't got that many in the chat right now. First in was Tactical Fud. Then Raphael. Then M. Gabriel. That's it so far. Of course, you got the lurkers. I know there's got to be a couple of lurkers in there. So, Guns and Barbecue. He's doing double duty. Oh yeah.
I got
more. According to this, I got more viewers looking than I have listed here. So I knew there were some lurkers.
Squib's probably out there lurking.
Yeah.
He basically admitted it on the last show. So, yeah. Wants to make sure he knows what's going on, what we're saying about him.
Speaking of Squib, check your email, Rick.
Oh, okay. All right, let me have a look.
Can't bother coming in or hanging out after the show. He's always got to click, hang up, and take off like an asshole.
Totally.
I like that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, like Squib ran out on us last week or the week before he was here?
Yeah, he's been doing that every time lately. So
yeah.
It kind of makes, well, if it was my show, it'd make me question his motives, honestly. But
well, put it this way, I got a feeling that just doesn't want to be associated with me. Really, that's what I'm feeling. That he's, he's just coming in here because there's nowhere else to go, and as soon as that next show starts, he's gone because he's got to get there on the panel.
I don't know. I know I haven't gotten my coffee supply in a long time, so it might be me on his shit list too. So
yeah, I think I'm on his shit list for. I can't remember what I've done, but I must have done it.
I know what I did.
I know exactly what I did. It's awesome.
He sent me a rock, and I was like, "What the hell am I supposed to do with this?"
What do you send you a rock for?
A piece of memorabilia from his trip, I guess. So,
okay, yeah. I'm with you now.
Yeah, right. But this was like a big rock. Like I think he spent like $30 to get it shipped. I mean, the thing weighs like 10, 15 pounds. I mean, like it's bigger than a doorstop. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? Like,
that's not saying a whole lot.
Like,
I mean, I've seen some pretty little doorstops.
Something like the size of a masher or something like that. You put on a shelf, and I actually have a rock collection, a quite big one, but they're all something you can put in your pocket. You know what I mean? So
that's to start your outside rock garden.
Something. I don't know. I mean, I could throw it at somebody and make a good weapon, probably. But
yeah. Anyway, when I left you guys last week, I said I was going to go sight the old 22 Winchester in. I took it there. Oh shit! I took it there. I even got the CCI mini mags brick here. I had that ready to go. Got over to my friend's house about 9 o'clock in the morning, and damn, there was 3 or 4 people sitting around bullshitting. So, and I go to them, and a couple of them said, "Oh, here you're sighting in your rifle this morning." I said I was planning on it. They go ahead. I said, "You guys got ear protection?" I said, "I'll show if you don't want to wear any." I said, "That's fine with me." Of course, then they all start bitching that they didn't bring any. So I'm beating around the bush here. I didn't sight it in because nobody had ear protection. Oh, bastards! I think they've done it on purpose, but that's all right.
Damn,
I'll
you
get-
don't have some of them foam ones kicking around in your bag or your stuff you could have gave to
I ain't sharing my shit with that lot.
them? Yeah, but it's for your convenience. Oh, shit, I got foam earplugs in my backpack. I
No,
got
I
them in
mean,
the
I got 'em
car.
too,
Got
but-
them in the gun thing. I don't even
You
use
know,
them,
I mean,
but I got them just in case.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I could go down to Conservation Club and sight it in. I didn't, but I could have. Instead of going to, I just go over to my friend's place because we socialize when I'm over there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know, nobody was meant to be there but me.
So fuck the
Everybody
rest
just-
of them.
guy.
Shoot away.
Everybody
Fuck it.
just showed up. You know, I mean, he's
I know, Rob.
got an open door policy. Everybody hangs around where he's at because he's the guy that does it all. You know, you got anything that's broken, he'll fix it. You know, type guy. But he's getting tired of that too because people are starting to abuse him.
Oh, I know all about it.
They're expecting him to do the work. You know.
Dirt cheap or free. That's supposed friends. Even when real
Yeah.
friends would understand that your time's worth something, and even if you told them free, they'd still pay your ass. But
Yeah, I mean,
because
I
they'll pay
do.
the next son of a bitch. They got no
You know?
problem paying that guy. You know.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if he does anything for me, I always pay him. You know, I always give him something. A lot of times he won't take it, and I'll have to put it in his shirt pocket. You know, because he won't take it. So I don't ask him to do a lot for me because I don't want to abuse that friendship. You know, but
I know what you're talking about, Rick. I say
Yeah.
I'm waiting for this son of a bitch on the panel to come build me a new porch. Offered him a '93 Toyota Corolla, and he's like, "Fuck that! I'm a Honda guy."
yeah, and it's only what, a couple hour drive from you.
No, like 4.5 or something
Yeah,
like that.
it's
4 or
a-
5 hours.
Oh, well,
Rob's a good
I
haul
was,
from me.
yeah.
I would have been by his place a few times already if it was, an hour and a
Yep.
half, 2 hours away. But holy shit.
No, one time he actually debated on still swinging over my way, grabbing me for the rally at the Capitol here in PA, and I was like, Rob, I really appreciate it, dude. I was like, that is way too far out of your way.
It's a lot. I mean, you're
Yeah.
cool, but, you're not that cute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could shave my chest for you if that helps.
Well, things ever get real desperate. You never know.
And then Rob's like, why is this so prickly? I did it like 2 days ago. It's got 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to mention. Price of ammo. Has it changed much in your areas? Here, it hasn't. It's only gone down a little bit. I know it's not going to get back to pre-COVID prices. I understand that, but a box of cheap 223s are still in the double digits here. And to me that seems a lot of money. Or maybe I've got so used to reloading. That's what I need to do. I need to actually work out how much I'm actually paying, or how much is it actually costing me to reload. Because it ain't that difficult to work out. I mean, you say that. I mean, I started off with pickup brass, so I didn't. You leave that out of the equation. So all you got to calculate is your powder, your bullets, and your primer. That's it.
Well, did you pick up that brass when you were just going to shoot anyway, and it was like, oh, there's all this brass, let me grab it? Or did you go to say, well, maybe I'll find some brass there, so
I used to pick up.
shoot.
No, I started picking up I picked up my brass when I first started. I picked it up because there was a sign on the wall that said "Clean up after yourself."
Okay.
That's when I started doing it. Then I noticed people were leaving all kinds of brass down there. So when I swept up mine, I swept up theirs too. And I started collecting brass that I didn't even have guns for. So to me, it's free. I
Yeah,
even had
that's pretty
223.
free. You were going anyway. Yeah.
I even had 223 brass in that lot I collected. Not a lot, but I had some. So that's what I started with. So you don't count the brass when you're doing these calculations.
Mhm.
I mean, you could. I could look up the price of brand new brass or once shot brass and add it in there. But since I already got it, I don't count it. And what is it? 7,000 grains or per pound of powder. So you just take the measurement of the powder you're using, divide it into 7,000 or the other way around, and it give you the price of it. It give you the cost, how much each, dipper or whatever however you're measuring it, it's costing you. And I mean, right now, CCI primers, small rifle primers, are $9.99 for 100. So you might as well say a dime each. So I still think it's working out cheaper for me to reload. Of course, I don't know, maybe 9 mil might be, breaking even, because 9 is a popular round, so you're not saving a lot when you're reloading it. But the more odd like loading, your 45 Colt 380, it's cheaper because me reloading it works out cheaper. I know I'm getting into reloading, sorry. But I was just going, what made me think it, I was down the gun store and I noticed that the price of ammo, our gun stores now are getting stocked like they used to be. The shelves are loaded, but the prices haven't, really come down that much.
Well, whenever you factor things in, or whenever you go through it, in a sense, if you go through it, don't forget to add gas for driving around searching for your primers or whatever the hell you're doing. Even if you're just going to your local shop picking them up because you know they're there, because that's still a cost that's acquired by doing this. And if you have like a tumbler or whatnot that you're plugging in, power's a cost too. So if you were going to do this, like set up a facility somewhere, these are all expenses you'd have to cover. So make sure you figure that out. You can look at your whatever device you have, it'll give you information on it, basically how much power is drawn, and you can compare that to your power bill, do the math, and figure out how much you're spending. I'm serious. This is how you make money, like in long term. And you need to nickel and dime every goddamn thing so you know where your profit is. Like, you know what the margins are. That's the real way. But people always round shit up. It's like people that gamble. They never tell you when they lose. They only tell you when they win. They win 2,000. They're telling everybody. They don't tell you about the 3,000 they lost all last month. Yeah. So really, they're still in the freaking hole, but they act like they won something. You know what I mean? It's the same type of thing. You got to do all the math if you want to get precise and really know. That's all I'm saying. Maybe you don't want to take things that far, but I just got done doing an estimate, so maybe that's why it's in my head. But you go through every damn thing, everything.
The only reloaders that go that deep are the manufacturers. Your normal reloader.
Everybody's talking out their ass because all that stuff is a factor. So, and yes, you have power anyway.
No, not really. If I was going down to gun store, just to go down to gun store, and I happen to pick up some primers while I'm there, it hasn't cost me any more.
Right, if you were going anyway. But if you're going just for primers, if you're going for reloading stuff, if you're going to go see if they have the powder you like, now your time and money is invested in doing so. And you might strike out. They might not even have it.
To me, driving down to the gun store, looking around, especially if you go with somebody, you're looking at shit, bullshitting. You can't. I mean, you don't add that in. You're going to the gun store anyway.
All right. If you were doing this for somebody else it would be an expense.
Yeah, oh, yes, you're right. But
So you are still somebody, so that accounts. It's like not giving yourself a
yeah,
paycheck.
but if you
So
add the
you have
price,
to credit yourself.
yeah. Well, if you, I mean, yeah, I mean, you could add. Well, how much was I earning in an hour when I was working? Put that in there. How much it takes me long? Well, but see, guys. I'm not selling the fucking ammo. I'm
I
shooting.
don't, like I said, if you were gonna do it anyway, if you were doing it anyway, then it, you could say that's free or whatever. But if you're trying to come up with total cost of what it costs you, it's not free because it costs you money to go there and do it anyway. Or if you went to the store you're gonna go find a box of whatever 9mm, and you just happen to pick up a primer, set of primers, or whatever, because it's a good deal. You weren't going for it, then that doesn't get counted because you were going for another purpose. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
You would have paid the gas to go for that ammo, not for the reloading stuff. I mean, it's. I know, I'm probably taking it way too far, whatever.
I
But
mean,
that's if you want true numbers, that's what you got to do.
When your lady says, "Let's go out to eat," do you go do all this before you go to say if it's worth it or not?
Yeah, pretty much, including tip in my mind. Yeah.
You sit there and calculate it. Say, well, now we're going to stay home tonight because it's cheaper to eat home.
Oh, it's always cheaper to eat at home.
Oh man, I tell you, you're something else. So.
I mean, even the Humane Society, even the Chinese restaurant goes to the same Humane Society to pick up meat.
Yeah, they get a deal on the meat, but they still got to pay for the gas and time and going to pick it up.
Yeah, you got to add all that in, Yeah, but I would say 9 times out of 10, I'm going to the gun store anyway, even if it's only just to look around. I've gone with my friend and said, let's go to the gun store next Tuesday. So we know where we're going. To me, why factor that in? Because we were going anyway.
Yeah, if you're going anyway, not regarding
plus 9
supplies,
times out of 10, he's one of these. He's like you, I think, in a way. This guy, he's like you. He drives 9 times out of 10 because he'd rather drive than be a passenger. So I don't. It ain't costing me any. Well, I guess I could. Well, if it's around lunchtime, we might stop off at oh hell, what's the name of the Arby's or something like that, and get a couple of roast beef. They had a deal 2 for $6 the other day.
Yep.
We stopped off there and got that. So that's normally what I do, and that I'll buy the lunch, and that sort of covers the cost of the gas. Is the way I look at it. But that doesn't always happen. But what I'm saying is, he's one of the guys, he prefers driving. So hell, I don't mind sitting in the passenger seat. Don't bother me in the slightest. I'd ride, bitch. I don't care. So. But anyway, I back to what I was saying. Has ammo still? Has it gone down any in your area? New York Outcast?
No, honestly, I have no idea.
You ain't bought any in a while?
I haven't bought any in probably over a year.
Damn, it's nice to have that much ammo on hand.
I mean, you buy a box every week or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those.
I mean, I understand. I mean, that's how I got.
You don't shoot your stock, so that's the way I look at it. I have practice fun ammo, shooting ammo, range trip ammo, and I'm probably going to be dead before I go through with ammo, which, is, but it ain't going to be easy. I ain't giving nobody nothing for free. So, but basically, shit hit the fan ammo. Let me put it that way. So, of course, I'd like more, but I have what I'd consider a loadout for an expected lifespan. Well, never mind. I'm saying too much. Never mind.
Yeah.
From my
I know what you mean.
perspective, and those circumstances, but that's a whole nother story. So
Yeah.
I've still got ammo. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah. Well, I said the only thing. I mean, I do have to make a trip to the gun store to actually buy some reloading supplies. I need to get some more powder to reload 223s, and I do need to get some more primers too. So, because what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to buy extra I don't get into the jam I got into this last shortage.
See, I was really shocked with your reloaders because you'd figure reloaders are people in that mindset. So when primers were pennies or whatever, I don't know why you don't have a 55-gallon drum of them damn things sitting at your place. Whether you can legally store that or not, that's a whole nother story. Whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
why the hell aren't you sitting on tens of thousands of them if they're that damn? If they were that cheap, you know what I mean?
They were cheap. I mean,
what the hell?
My cousin came over the other day, and he was at an auction at one of the old farmers that died, and he was saying he picked up some stuff, but he said, I don't really need it. He goes, I've got so much. He said, I got so much stuff. He said, I ain't nowhere near, I'm going to be dead before I even get anywhere near touching or putting a dent in it, So he's done the same thing for the last 40 years, He's always buying it.
Little by little, it adds up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But, it's a good way to stock, like if you're going to go out to the range, instead of buying a box of ammo or whatever, you buy 2, you buy 3, you put 2 back or 1 for next time, 1 that's never going to get touched unless it's a really bad day. And then your other ones, you shoot that day,
Mm-hmm.
and then you end up, you're putting back twice as much as you're expending. So therefore you're gonna acquire more quicker because you may not use all your range fun ammo, all at one time, or you go through phases or whatever. So you'll end up backing up, and then the next thing you know, shit, you don't even have to go buy ammo if you don't want to.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I mentioned it a couple of months ago that ammo squared.
Mm-hmm.
I do $25 a month. It doesn't get me a full box of anything, but I've got just shy of 100 rounds of assorted ammo sitting there. And when it gets up to $250 worth, I got $100 worth in there right now. Right? So an average is right now is because I got some expensive shit in there. But when it gets up to $250, they ship it for free. So I'm doing that. I wish I could find something like that for reloading shit. That'd be great. But
you can just do it yourself. But we've had the conversation,
Yes, yeah.
Instead of giving them the $25, go to your gun shop and spend $25 on something, supplies, and just put them back.
Yes, I agree.
And then you don't even have to worry about shipping. If something crazy happens tomorrow, you have it on hand. There's no middleman markup fee, no waiting. It's all in your control.
Yeah, but I like it this way.
Okay.
Because it gets taken right out of my bank account when I get paid. And so I don't have to worry about.
Will probably do the same thing if you want. I'm sure they'll deduct $25 every month if you want them to.
Who?
The gun shop.
Oh yeah, yeah. I imagine they would. But
You probably do the same exact deal at your local gun shop. I'm sure they'd be happy to take your money every week or every month.
yeah, I guess. But I
And then
like,
there's no shipping.
you know.
But hey, we to each their own. I'm not
That's right.
shaming or harping on you. I'm just
That's right. So
pointing out other options, and I probably shouldn't have because I bring it up in the past and we've already had the conversation. But
yeah, I know.
I feel I have to say something because at any time you could get willpower and be the master of yourself and take control of this if you choose to.
Yes, you're right. But if I could find a website, I understand what you're saying. But if I could find a website that done the same thing with reloading shit, I would join it. You know, don't only, you know, if it gets to a certain amount, then I get the shipping free. I ain't worried about shipping. You know, either way, I got to either spend gas to go to the gun store or pay them to ship it to me. What's the difference? Yeah.
Well, the gun store is semi-local. If shit hit the fan and we're invaded by aliens or whatever, you could probably actually get it from your gun shop. Maybe because you're locals, they know you. If I rolled up there, they'd start shooting first and ask questions later, probably. But you, because they know you got a rapport, it's a small town, they'd probably give you your ammo. But this online place, you can kiss that shit goodbye. You're never going to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. The only, I don't call it a downside, but until you actually think about it, is like I spent $100 so far. So I've been doing it for 4 months, right? My ammo right now is only worth about $90, even though I've paid $100 because the price of ammo's gone down, right? But you say that, so just for argument's sake, so last week I put $100 in my gas tank, and this week the price of gas has dropped. I still got the same amount of gas, but it's just not worth as much as I paid for it last week. Same principle with the ammo. I mean, I still got the same number of bullets. The number of bullets I got hasn't changed, just the value of it's changed. So. At first I saw that and I thought, hang on a minute, they're ripping me off. But they're not. It's just like it's just the same as buying gas. Argument's sake, I spend $100 on gas today, right? And I don't drive anywhere, right? And I drive past the gas station in say 3 days, and the price has gone up 20 cents, right? So the gas in my tank is worth more than what I paid for it. Same principle.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. I get it, but I don't know.
It's hard. It's hard to wrap your head around that part, but
Well, I don't know. I had something there, but I lost it. Basically, it's to say I get what you're saying, but the difference is you had it on hand, so it may be valued at less tomorrow, but you had it on hand. So if there was an emergency and you needed it, you had it.
But besides going into the other thing, at the moment, the way I'm doing it with the website and the ammo works for me right now. Let's leave it there.
Well, all right. Basically, I got what I had.
Yeah, I understood where you're coming
tell
from.
people even with fuel oil, like whether it's ammo, whether it's whatever, you always buy when it's cheap. So you could do that at your store when it's cheap, and then you can accept delivery at another time, in a sense. Which I wouldn't recommend that with your ammo at the store, but I'm crossing this into fuel oil.
Yeah,
like
I understand.
Most people buy it when they need it, and then they get ripped off in the winter because it's always higher in the winter. So instead of that, budget for it, and then when summer comes up and it's dirt cheap, which is never dirt cheap, but when it's cheaper, you buy it all. places will argue and say, "Oh, we can't do this bullshit." They do it. They just don't like to do it because they know they're losing money. They can charge you more in the winter. You buy it all in the summer, and then you schedule out your deliveries throughout the year. And then when everybody's crying in the winter, you paid $1 and change less back in the summer, and well, that sucks for your neighbors because they couldn't handle their money and just pay less at one shop.
I totally understand. I know people that when I was living up in Rhode Island, they would do that. They would buy oil during the summer when it was $1, and in the wintertime it go up to $3, but they only paid $1 for it.
It's like buying half a cow or a pig or something and freezing, throwing in your freezer and stuff. I mean, and people forget that those Ziploc bags are part of the equation. However you're sealing them up, that's part of the equation, unless you just happen to have a free supply. So, and that shit ain't cheap either when you're talking freezers full. But you add all that up and you can save money, but you got to put in work to do it. You got to press out your hamburger or whatever it is so you can thaw it out quick and use it in a hurry or whatever. You got to put work into it, but you can save money.
Yeah. Oh, Defense Dad says, so you can prepay hookers during slow times and take the service later, so it's cheaper to get the clap.
If they're trustworthy, then sure, but I don't know if I'd extend that to hookers. I mean, depending on the state, maybe Nevada or something like that. That if you come up with a legal contract, they might honor it in court. But in most states, I don't think it's going to fly too well if you end up in court over that one. But they should do pussy payments in divorces. I think that should be a thing.
You do, huh?
Oh yeah. Well, they always want the alimony and all this shit. Well, hey. Hey.
Yeah. I know. I agree with you, but anyway, so we were talking about ammo, weren't we? So what about ammo in your area, Guns and Barbecue? Does it stay around the same?
Honestly, I can't say 100%. I haven't been shooting in a while, so I haven't had a reason to buy ammo. And I mean, granted, you should always be buying ammo if you can, but I got this bad habit where I buy firearms over and over, and that cuts into my ammo budget. But like I said, I don't get to go shooting too often, so it's not like it's a huge deal for me. It'd be different if I was blowing through 500 or 1,000 rounds a weekend like some people. And that's not a shot at anybody. Like, I'm just jealous. But you're
buying firearms to throw at people.
Exactly. I wouldn't even say to throw at them. Like, if I was gonna throw a firearm at somebody, it would definitely be like a Glock, High Point, even and that's not a bash on High Point. I like High Points, but stupid plastic guns like that. Like, I'm not throwing one of my 1911s. If it came down to it, I will bludgeon somebody with it, but I will. Nope, not throwing one of my babies. But last time I was at the shop, I'm trying to remember. I was a little surprised about the price of 9mm ammo, which is always like the metric that people use. And I wasn't asking for it; my mother was. But I was like, oh, that's not awful. It's not great, but like I said, it surprised me a little bit. But the other thing is, like, I'm not going to be looking for ammo to come down anytime soon until they get this inflation under control, and we see gas at $2 a gallon, just a tick below or anything like that. We're not going to see cost of ammo come back down at all.
No, I don't think so either. I really don't. So, anyway, it's the price we pay for the hobby we like. You know.
Indeed.
You know. And there's a will, there's a way. So they keep. That's what they used to keep telling me. You know. So,
That's what she said.
know. But anyway, I'm going to keep. I'm going to keep reloading and buying my defense ammo on Ammo Squared off the website. That's all I'm buying from there. I'm not buying Plinking ammo because that's what I reload. I'm just buying the good stuff, you know, off of there. But actually, it's kind of thinking about it now. The real expensive ammo is actually, it costs me even less to reload. The more expensive the ammo is, the cheaper it is for me to reload it because it cost, you know, because of the price of stuff. But if you're reloading some oddball rounds, you could, I mean, you know, I was what you call it, my you know, like if you're reloading even down to 30-30, you can say you reloading it, you know, you save at least 50% of the price. You know?
Well, some of these rounds, yeah, it's getting ridiculous. Like, I'm not sure what 30-30 is going for now, but back during the pandemic, I remember people paying $75 on the low end, and that was for like Remington Core-Lokt. I'm like, the frick is matter with you people? I heard people paying upwards of $100, $125 a box for a box of 30-30. I have a box of 30-30 Remington Core-Lokts. I really thought about selling them, but I was like, it's the only box that I have, and I have a gun that I could shoot them out of if I felt like it. I was like,
yeah. I mean, Defense Dad's got a good point here. He says, I don't really see the price of defensive ammo fluctuate a lot because it's always expensive. Full Metal Jacket is what goes up and down mostly. Yeah, basically, you know, practice ammo, Plinking ammo is what fluctuates a lot. You know, I mean, like that defensive ammo that I'm ordering off of Ammo Squared. I mean, I don't know what it is today because I haven't pulled up the website. But for argument's sake, a lot of it, even I'm getting defensive ammo in 357 mag, 380, 45 ACP, and there's one other. There's another one I'm getting. But for argument's sake, it's roughly $1 a round. You know? So, I mean, some are lower and some are a little higher, but that's the average price of defensive ammo. It ain't cheap like it used to be. You know?
Why are you going with all defensive ammo with this?
Because I don't reload a lot of defensive ammo.
Okay. But you probably don't use a lot of it either.
No, but it's not. But
so you're
what made me go that route is
something you're not really going to use.
I mean, the defensive ammo that I have, right? Like for my even my carry gun, my 380, right? I haven't fired those two. I got 2 magazines, one in the gun and I carry one. So it's only 16 rounds, right? And I've got a few extra down here, but I haven't fired that defensive ammo out of that gun for 2 years because I don't have enough to replace it. That's what made me start. That's what made me start buying it.
Rick, just remember, they all fall to ball.
Do what?
They all fall to ball.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Not like that you shouldn't have defensive ammo, but you're way more likely to use your Plinking ammo because you go to your friends and shoot it than the defensive.
Yeah, but I reload my Plinking ammo.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe that's the answer then. I don't know because
I mean, why buy it when I make it? You know.
It seems like you're sitting out holding out on a lot for stuff that statistically you're not even going to use except for to run through your gun so you know it works, and
Well, basically, that's what I'm
you
buying
say
it
you
for.
practice with it,
I mean,
but really you're talking a mag or two. That's not practice. Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, once I get a few, I mean, 2 or 3 boxes of each one, so I have some on hand, right? I will more than likely swap it over to, see what the price of their full metal jacket is, their Plinken ammo, to see how cheap it is.
Is this
Or
defensive
I
ammo
can
you're
get
ordering from them the same stuff you got now?
the what?
Is it defensive ammo you're ordering from them the same stuff you have now?
Yeah, a lot of it is. I
Okay.
mean,
So
they
same
carry about I think it's 4 or 5 different, but it's the top of the line stuff
Yeah.
that they carry.
I'm just wondering, like, basically, are you getting a small batch of something separate than what you already have too? Because then that's even another downfall in a sense. Because you've been practicing with A, now you're buying B, but you only got a small batch. So let's say it's a rifle and you sight in and everything for this small batch. Now you're out of shit. They're out of luck again after what, 2-3 boxes of ammo?
Yep.
What are you on about?
Are we talking
Never
to Rick?
mind.
Or are we
This is
talking
like
to Joe Biden?
You're losing me.
This is like that. I can explain it, but I can't make you understand type stuff.
I
Don't
think we
worry
need to
about
get him an ice cream cone and put him on a bicycle.
Yeah. Why would I have to? I mean, if I'm sighted in my rifle for a certain ammo, right? I mean, if I'm buying a hollow point, 250 grain for argument's sake, yeah, there might be a slight difference. It might shoot a bit lower than the other one or a bit higher, but it ain't going to make a great deal of difference when you're shooting at a goddamn body. If I was going for 1,000-yard shots, then that would be a different thing altogether.
All right. Well, you said rifle, so because you said that,
Well,
why not
you
just
said
use
rifle.
FMJ then? Because
You said rifle.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Right. Well, I did initially, and then you just said a second ago, well, rifle.
Okay. If for
Because
argument's
then
sake,
you got the speed with the ballistics. I mean, now you're looking at the hydro shock factor, so you don't even have to be 100%. So
Yeah.
if that's the case, you might as well just go with ball.
Okay, I mean, like for argument, for my 380, they send me Hornady. I can't think of the name of it now. Hollow point. I can't think of the goddamn name of the Hornady defense ammo now. But anyway, they send me a box of that, or 3 or 4 boxes of that, and I shoot them all.
Critical
Then
defense.
the next load they send me is Lehigh defense ammo. Right? There's going to be a slight variation where my 380 is where the bullet's going to hit the target. As I said, it might be up or down a little bit, but it's going to be in the ballpark. I'm not doing bullseye shooting, either with a handgun or a rifle. So, but anyway, I'll just go in that route to start with. Get me a backup of defense ammo. Then I don't, as you said, then every once a year or once every 6 months, I can shoot my 2 magazines to make sure it still cycles through my gun or whatever, and I can reload them again. Right now, I do not have 16 rounds of defense ammo for my 380 right now. If I shot both magazines, I haven't bought any. Because why? because the price of you seen the price of 380 defense ammo? It's outrageous. You know, so if it
Because they
came
want you
down
to keep
to it,
shooting 9mm. They
if
want
it,
you to
if,
use the Imperial system.
if it came down to that I've gone through my two magazines and I need more, I'm in a world of fucking hurt, right? I'll start using Full Metal Jacket. I don't give a shit if it penetrates through them and hits somebody else, because I'm having a bad day. I've already gone through two magazine loads and I still need to keep shooting. I'm having a bad day, you know. So
I think you're having a bad day if you had to pull your gun in the first place.
well, at least my hands won't hurt.
True.
You know. But talking about that, I was thinking to myself the other day that, you know, I got the 380 because of the arthritis in my hands. It was easier to shoot, right? But like when I went and fired my 357 the other day, a couple of weeks ago, I mean, I fired it no problem. I mean, I only fired maybe 18 rounds, with it. That's all I took. I only took about, my little plastic container here. I only had 20 in it. So I shot 18 because it holds 6 rounds. So, but my hands was fine. Later that night, they started hurting like hell, which is what normally happens if I shoot, a bigger caliber. But where I was going with this is I was thinking of going back to carrying my 45 again, because in a defense situation, right, I'm going to be pulling I can pull the trigger, right, and I can hold it to shoot 3 or 4 bullets off at somebody who's trying to shoot at me. If you understand what I'm saying. So, maybe I need to go back to my 45 and, put the 380 in the cabinet. My pimp gun, That's what I was thinking.
It depends on what people are going for. Like they say that, 2 magazines, I'm in trouble, or if I got to reload, I must have done something wrong. I mean, that's short-sighted. I mean, if you look statistically on what's happened, then yes, that kind of lines up. But if you're considering what could happen, what's happened in other countries, what's historically happened, then you're talking a whole different ballgame. Like I forgot what the numbers are, but most people would be amazed what the average soldier shoots per hit, for an actual hit. Yeah, I'm just talking like an infantryman, but I mean it's a lot of freaking rounds, and a lot of it's just keeping people's heads down for movement. Now, if you're on the street, something goes off. Is it going to be high noon? You just take a few steps and stand back and stand there and shoot at each other, like. It seems suicidal or whatever. You're probably going to run for cover. You might need, suppressive fire.
Rick's face roll for cover.
Talking about that,
use a mag or two just getting your ass to a safe spot.
I mean, I would be worried about if you're in the big city down there in New York. There,
Yeah,
I
could be 3 people shooting at you.
I read that the New York City policeman averages about, I think it was 8.7 rounds per gun incident. When they're shooting at bad guys. 8.7 rounds.
It's different than when you're just taking your time on the range shooting at paper.
Oh, I know.
It's a different story. So, like, everybody's like so confident they're gonna have it in 2-3 rounds. I think it's bullshit. I mean, statistically, the nut job on the street, yeah, maybe, or the whatever case, like, but
well, let's say, because if you're talking statistically, I mean, statistically, you need about 3.5 shots in the average self-defense situation. Now, does that mean that that's what your situation is going to be? No, there's a reason it's an average. there's people that have probably had to empty 2 magazines, and then there's somebody that had to only fire once. And when you take all these instances and put them together, the average comes out to 3.5 to 4 shots. Also, I can say back when I had to go for armed security training and all that and qualify, the one instructor was a state police officer, and he was telling us about like what the requirements are for like just a plain Jane police officer in Pennsylvania to qualify, and then the state police set an even higher level. And with that, he said the average state police officer in Pennsylvania who, well, I shouldn't say the average because they're shooting 100% in their qualification. State police officers who shoot 100% in their qualification will automatically drop down to 70% in a firefight.
Yeah, I can believe that. I also believe if I actually personally myself if I ever got into a situation where I had to draw my firearm, I'd more than likely, just because of adrenaline pumping through me, I'd more likely empty the mag and don't even realize it.
That's what I'm telling you to do here.
We need to rig up Rick's chair so he can throw like an oil slick out behind him or something. So when he's running away, and the bad, because when you're running away and the bad guy's running after you, boom, they slip on oil.
Oh, Defense Dad goes, is Rob arguing with Rick out of belief or because he's too cheap to buy self-defense ammo?
Both.
I've got self-defense ammo, but honestly, I usually carry both. So, but
22s.
Well, my concern, car doors. I'm a big one for I'm not peeking around the corner. I'll shoot through the wall. If somebody's shooting at me from the other side, call it what you want. So, I've been through this before in a training exercise, and I still stand by it. And to this day, I'm going home. So if that means I go home to be judged, I go home to be judged. But either way, I'm going home. So buck around is the way I look at it. So I got no problem. I'm going to shoot you through the door. So I don't know. So the way I see it, and a lot of things here being more city and stuff, a lot of stuff happens in buildings. Sometimes they're office buildings, government buildings. Sometimes it's people shooting from a car. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure I got the best opportunities possible. So in my gun right now is hollow point, but through my other backup mags, I have 2 that are standard, or 2 that are FMJ, and another one that's hollow point. So depending on the situation.
Yeah. So like my 380, I have 2 mags full of hollow point. Then my 3rd mag that I carry in my truck is full metal jacket. I said if I get to the 3rd mag, I'm having a bad
fire target and safety Nazis and all this type of stuff. But I'm telling you, the safety shit gets people killed. Gonna get you killed one of these days.
Yeah, I agree with you. I wouldn't stick my head around the corner too, especially if you're in a building like here. Yeah, the outside of the building's brick, but between this bedroom and my bathroom and the next bedroom is drywall. I could sit here and shoot somebody in the other bedroom. The bullet go through this drywall, through the bathroom drywall, into the other bedroom. Could hit your target. Hell, I ain't gonna stick my head around the corner, see if I can see them.
Technically, ain't even got to really hit them. I mean, if you're gonna make a move, because it's gonna distract, and all the debris shooting, flying through the air, because they're not wearing safety glasses. They're criminals or whatever coming in your house. Yeah, that's a problem. So it's gonna slow them down. So I mean, I don't know. There's a million different situations or whatever, but it's best to be prepared for all.
I mean, I would be upset, say for argument's sake, because I said I live in this house, but there is next door is actually joined on, and all that's separating us is a drywall, a wall made out of drywall between the two things, you know. And then say I'm shooting at somebody in here, and the bullet goes through the drywall from here into next door, and hits an innocent bystander. I know I'm liable for every bullet I shoot, but how can I put this without sounding callous? I'll worry about that. I mean, if I'm still alive, I'll worry about that later. That's the way I look at it. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, or I'm just talking out of my ass on that. I'm not sure, but I would feel bad that I hurt somebody that wasn't involved in the whatever was going on, but it was, I'm trying to save my ass. I don't know. Midnight Range said safety is for losers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, there's differences with people. There's drivers, and then there's real drivers. There's, you know yourself. If you're one of them people that does stupid shit, you lose your keys, you lose your wallet, you can't carry cash because you're scared to lose it, then safety's probably a good thing. If you're a person that does brain surgery, if you work in jobs where if you slip and fall, you die, or somebody gets seriously maimed or killed, or what, then you're probably okay. It depends on the person and situation. Obviously, you don't want to be there with a bunch of kids and say safety's stupid. But I can tell you, when you're loading up in a vehicle with a bunch of other people get flagged. People have loaded guns. Like, there isn't somebody going, "Oh my God," freaking out every damn time you mount or dismount a vehicle, because it happens. So, it's going to be a thing. When people are leapfrogging, you try to not, point at somebody, your team per se, but depending on the obstacles or which way you got to go, you may have to cross paths. Are you really going to drop your gun down every time you do? They may do that on TV, but that's not what I've seen. I mean, there's limits to this type of stuff where, the average NRA instructor is a freaking safety Nazi. He's going to freak out about every goddamn thing. That's not going to work in real life, like firefight battle type shit. That's not how it goes.
Yeah, you're right. So, we lost Guns and Barbecue again.
But, you said he'll be right back again.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's private message. Yeah. But it's almost it's almost quitting time as it is. We've been going on about this subject. Yeah, it's a good topic, but it gets the old juices flowing. But
now, if you're on a base range, safety is very important. They're Nazis about it. But when you're actually doing something, it's a little different.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you there. So anyway, if I got all my topics, I talked about ammo, talked about sighting in my Winchester, talked about the weather. I talked about that. Oh yeah, the only other thing I ain't talked about, but we're almost out of time, was the timing is very strange that the Surgeon General, or whatever title he is, all of a sudden gun violence is now a health crisis in the United States, when 3 days ago the Biden administration said gun violence has gone down since he's been in the White House.
Guns have never been violent.
I know, but you understand what I'm saying?
I know.
A few days ago, they're saying gun violence has gone down since he's been in the White House.
Their terms.
Now this Surgeon General is telling me the gun violence is an epidemic right? What in the hell is it? Is it going down or is it an epidemic? Make your mind. There's got to be. They done it for a reason, right?
It's a
And that's what I'm
political
trying to figure
tool.
out. You know what? You know what is. You know what's going to happen as it gets closer to the election. Biden's going to do what that president did in or has done over there in Ukraine. Canceled the election because of the war. He's going to cancel the election because of this health crisis. You know, and people say Trump's a goddamn Hitler. But anyway, I ain't going there. So, so anyway, I'm going to wind this up because I can get myself wound up on politics, and I don't want to talk politics if I can help it. So, with that, you know, it means, let's see, what if I'm missing anything here? Oh, yeah, Defense Data, he said he's saying what he wants to get votes, you know? Yeah, but then again, I mean, it's like anything. When they're on what they call gun violence, we know what they're talking about. I mean, they've added, you know, 18, 19, 20-year-olds in that now, which most of those, I don't want to be saying I'm profiling, but those higher age range are not children. They're more than likely fucking gangbangers shooting each other, you know?
Yeah. But it's not gun violence, it's murder.
Oh, I know that, but I'm just using their terms. You know,
manslaughter. It's it's a crime. It's just a tool was used. That's all it is. Obviously, I mean, if they really gave a shit, they'd be doing an epidemic, or we'd be having all types of public service announcements about not going to eat fast food. That they really gave a shit. Because if you look at what's really killing people, it's heart disease, obesity, and malpractice. So they'd be telling you, be really careful going to your doctor, but they don't want to tell you none of that. They don't want to tell you that you shouldn't eat fast food. It's fake food. It's bad for your health. They don't want to tell you that. Yeah. They don't want to tell you get off your ass and get active and stop taking every pill that's on the TV. They don't want to tell you that shit because it's going to screw with their money. So,
Oh, yeah.
The guns are a control issue, political and control. So, it's a lot easier to force your will upon somebody when they can't do shit about it.
I know. And
that's why we should all be armed for that corrupt ass police department, Barney Fife, that wants to come have a bad day.
Yeah, the police today are the government's private army.
Yeah. They technically are when you think about it. So the only ones got a constitution are the sheriffs that are justified or legally.
Yeah.
Other than that, they're private security forces for your city or municipality. So, we should change the topic because I don't get myself in trouble.
Yeah. Anyway, you got any closing arguments there or plugs or anything you want to say?
Yep. Eat a salad.
Eat a salad.
Squid balls are so small he couldn't even show up. Let's see. That's about that. And everybody did make it. You're cool sons of bitches. Okay? All right.
That about sums it up. It is. I mean, I want to say thank you, everybody, for showing up on this Wednesday evening. And I'm hoping to either sight that rifle in either tomorrow or Friday is what I'm aiming for this week. I'm not sure tomorrow because he said he would call me later in the morning because he's got to cut a tree that fell over his fence the other night. It must have got. He said it was starting to fall we had some bad weather a couple of weeks ago, and it finally. I mean, it's nowhere near a house. Nobody's living there, but there is a fence, and it fell on the fence. So he's got to cut it down tomorrow. And I looked at it today from I'm looking at it from the road into his fence line is about 50 yards, and it's a big ass tree at 50 yards. So up close, that thing is enormous, And problem is because it landed on a branch. It's sticking up in the air, so it's about the actual trunk is about 6 foot off where you would normally cut it at the ball end of the tree that fell over. It's about 6 foot in the air. So if he cuts it, which way is it going to fall? Is it going to roll towards him or roll away from him? He said if you see my tractor over here when you come by in the morning, he said, you better come and check on me. He said, I'm going to be squashed under the tree. I shouldn't laugh, but, there we go. So anyway, I wanted to, yep, you're right there, Tony. Tony said, quote, from 60 years or so back, only when we disarm those who would fight back can we have a truly socialist society. Well, that's what they're aiming for. That's what they want. So anyway, with that, I'm going to say good night. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. It went by fast tonight. Anyway, if you guys got any quiz. Yeah, doing the draw next week. I forgot. Why didn't you remind me? The question for the swag pack for next Wednesday was it's going back to the good old Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Isa False, is that how you pronounce her name? Back to the desert scene in the Arabian desert. I want to know the make and model of the sniper rifle she was using. Email me at rickslife@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Get it into me by 12 noon next Wednesday, and you'll be in for the drawing for the swag pack. There we go. Got that out of the way. Anyway, if you got any questions you want, or topics you want to bring up, email me at the same email addresses. If you got a question you want me to use that I could use in my, my quiz, it would be appreciated. So anyway, with that, I am going to say good night to everybody, and thank you for coming, and I'll see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, because next Wednesday is going to be the 3rd of July. So if you're here, you're here. If you're out partying, that's good too. So I will see you all then. So good night, everybody. Good night, Sabrina.